Another day, another ferocious offensive attack from the Cubs. They beat the Nationals 14-1 to complete the sweep. Their second straight sweep. They've now won 6 ball games in a row and are looking hot heading into a home series starting Labor Day against the Pirates. That and more on this edition of the Cubs Baseball Channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. Get in that comment section. Let us know how you're feeling about this team, about me without a mustache, whatever you got, let us know. But here is your invitation to our show. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Cubs Baseball Channel. My name's Anthony Pasquale. That is Mick Gillespie. You can find him on Twitter at Broadcaster Mick, and I'm at Ant_Pasquale3. Mick, that's another sweep, but this one, the Cubs killed the Nationals 14-1.
Oh, I loved it too. I mean, absolutely loved it. You got to have sweeps at this point if you want to make things interesting and you want to push for maybe a miracle run to get to the postseason. You got to win every game you can get, and the Cubs stay red hot. They just keep pounding the baseball, taking advantage of bad teams that are starting to gear up for next year by bringing in young guys. We saw Dusty Baker's son make his debut, putting guys in different positions, kind of like starting to build their roster for 2025. The Cubs, though, they're still locked in, still playing hard, and just like pretty much everybody got a hit. I mean, it was a parade.
Yeah, it was the hit parade, the run parade, especially that ninth inning. The Cubs tacked on 7 runs, but like I'm sure people are going to get in our comment section. Don't get ahead of yourselves. These are against bad teams. Sure, we've been talking about it since the middle of August, saying the Cubs have like 18 straight games against bad teams. But like the Nationals just won a series against the Yankees. Like anything can happen in baseball. You still have to go out there and win the ball games. And now the Cubs are finally doing that. There was a point in this season where they weren't, and now they are. They're now 5 games over 500. Their run differential on the season is plus 52, but scoring 70-something runs this week definitely helps that run differential. But they finished August on a hot streak, opened September on a hot streak, and this offense is on fire. Happ had 2 hits. Dansby Swanson with a 4-hit game. Seiya Suzuki had 2 hits. Paredes drove in 3 runs and a pair of hits. Nico Horner had 2 hits. Crow-Armstrong had 3. Everybody was active for this team. Like you said, it was a hit parade, and it's pretty easy to win ball games when you score 14 runs on 18 hits.
Yeah, well, I loved it. I mean, like I said, and you're getting throughout this streak, you're getting production out of the bottom of the lineup. Amaya with another hit and a couple RBIs. Crow-Armstrong 3 hits, 2 runs on 5 hits at the bottom of the lineup. And then that takes pressure off of the guys at the top of the lineup. Happ, couple of hits. Swanson 4 for 6, trying to work on that batting average. He's got it up to 234. But Suzuki had a couple hits. You mentioned Paredes with how about the 3 walks? The 3 RBIs for Paredes and 2 hits. And I mean, I know that this is probably too little, too late. I mean, I think we still know that, but it's still fun. I mean, you want to win in baseball, and the thing we said at the beginning of the season is that the games count the same as they do at the middle, at the end. So I'm not discounting this winning streak. I think you go out there and try to win as many games as you can, and at the end of the season, you look back, you go, you know what? Do I feel like the organization's going in the right direction? I think that's a lot of the questions that we're asking, and we're going to start to have some of our people come back on that cover the Cubs every day, and we'll ask them the same question. But if you're, running the team and you're managing the team and you're playing on the team, you don't quit until the bell. And I didn't hear the bell yet, so I give this team a lot of credit for taking advantage of teams that they're better than, and not just winning, but they look like they did in April again.
Yeah, it's not only did they not hear a bell, they're playing like they have definitely not heard a bell. And you mentioned it, like how obviously you want them to be playing this type of way for 162 games, but they went through that period about 2 months worth where you've called them a dead fish.
Mhm.
For them to be able to look like a dead fish for 2 months of the season and be able to bring themselves out of that and start playing really good baseball again, you got to give some credit there. And I don't know how much of an influence Craig Counsell is on that, or the guys in the locker room, or simply the fact that everybody's hitting the ball. Like, there's a lot of different moving parts, but fact of the matter is the Cubs offense is about as good as it's been all year. In fact, they've scored 10 runs or more 4 times in the last 8 games. So they're definitely moving the chains offensively. Another big part of this game, and it could mean a lot for this team down the stretch, is Jordan Wicks is back off the injured list. I remember he came back for that one start and then got hurt again. Now he's back, and he looked pretty good yesterday. 5 innings pitched, only allowed 4 hits. The big thing for Wicks has been walks. He had no walks in the ball game. Also
Mhm.
didn't strike anybody out, but he was just kind of pitching to contact. I'm sure we'll see the swing and misses in his next couple starts, but that's about as good as a return back as you could have expected from Wicks.
Yeah, I thought he looked great today. I mean, going out there throwing strikes, mixing things up. I wasn't sure if he was coming back. I mean, it just felt like it was in question, right? Is he coming back? Is he not coming back? We hadn't seen him since my birthday. I have to throw that out. June 14th. It's an easy
Mhm.
date to remember, but his debut last year, and from that point on, he's been really solid for the Cubs as a starter. And then, got injured and then came back and then got injured again. But good outing for him. I love the glasses, love the change ups away. And what I always think of when he pitches is once you establish that fastball, like that away fastball to right-handers, and then you come back with the changeup, it's such a deceptive pitch because once you show that, then all of a sudden that changeup becomes unhittable because he throws such a good changeup, but you have to hit that fastball out there to set the changeup. And he did that. And just good news for the Cubs to have him back. And this is someone that I think that they're going to need next year if they're really going to contend.
Yeah, really effective. And now you have 6 starters healthy in September, which is all you could ask for as a team, as a manager, organization, what have you. It also rosters expanded. Wicks was one of the moves, like we announced. The other one is Miles Mastrobuoni back on the team. I think simply because he has a role as a base runner and a defensive replacement that the Cubs elected to bring up Mastrobuoni instead of maybe an Owen Casey or a Kevin Alcantara or Matt Shaw, just because they know the at-bats are going to be limited for this last roster spot. So why not have it be a role player instead of a guy who could benefit from having at-bats down in AAA, right?
Yeah, and I don't agree with this. I mean, I don't think he's in the future plans, and I don't think that Patrick Wisdom's in the future plans. And I they need to, in my opinion, they rush these guys up through the minor leagues. They hardly stay at a level, most of them, for an entire season, if not that. And it's the Cubs aren't the worst offenders of this. The Angels, I mean, they'll draft a guy out of college and put him in the big leagues the same year, and then they wonder why they're a last place team. It takes a lot of it. Well, it does. Look, man, it takes a ton of repetition and games to figure out all of the different things that you need skill set wise, and also to be able to make adjustments at the plate, skill set in the field, running the bases, and then adjustments at the plate. It takes time doing that, but you rush all these guys up to AAA. They're all there now. And then when you got a spot open, you call a guy that doesn't have a future on your team. I don't understand that. I don't see him beating out the Triantos and Shaw and some of these other guys, maybe eventually BJ Murray for a spot on the team next year. And if he does, then that's an indictment of your minor league system that everybody says is first, second, or third, one of the top 3, because you go and you draft these guys and you develop them, and you're supposed to be drafting and developing in a way that fits your system at the big league level. So maybe the argument, like you said, is going to be, well, he's just going to sit on the bench and he's not going to get at bats, and and I'd rather be down in the minor leagues playing. Well, I wouldn't. I think you got to go to the big leagues, see how it operates every day. Watch how you attack an at bat. How do guys that are big league hitters change during the at bat to get better? I mean, and to adjust to what the pitcher's doing. The pitchers are adjusting pitch by pitch, sometimes game by game, but a lot of times at bat by at bat and pitch by pitch. And you got to be able to see that. So, I it is what it is. But there's a lot of times you see things that happen on the roster and you don't know what the behind the scene, impact is, or what the long-term strategy is on something. So not that he's a bad player or anything like that,
No, I get it.
but he's just not part of the future. I
Yeah.
can't see a future where he's going to beat out these guys that you drafted and brought up.
Right. And it seems like the Cubs are kind of leaning toward that. It's more beneficial for them and for their development to get those at bats in the minors, as much as we would like to see them. And also as much as we think that those guys could help what the Cubs have going on right now. But the other thing is, the Cubs don't need a whole lot of help at the current moment. They are on fire, 5 games over 500 on a 6-game winning streak. And if you go back to a sample size of their last 50 games, right, that's a pretty good sample size. 32-18, 14 games over 500 in their last 50 games. That's the type of stretch that we needed this team to go on to get where they want to go. And now the Pirates come into town and you get a series back at home. Tyone, Steele, and Imanaga are lined up to take on the Pirates. It's obviously a lofty expectation to sweep the Pirates again, to win 6 straight against them. And where you're going to get Jones and Skeens and Keller again. They're going to match them up. But my buddy once told me, and he's a White Sox fan, so he understands this when his team is bad. He said, all you can ask for on any given season is to play meaningful September baseball. And that's what the Cubs have in front of them. So hopefully they can continue to take advantage.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with that. And it's been a long time since the Cubs have played meaningful September baseball. Even this, and I hate to tell everyone, but even this is still a shot in the dark. I mean, this is a Hail Mary at this point still, with 90-some% chance to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Or excuse me, not to make the playoffs.
Right.
So you still, but you got to keep going out there and winning. And all it takes is just win day by day, and then you'll turn around and you pick up a game here and you pick up a game there. And then maybe, you play one of these teams and you put a sweep on them, and then all of a sudden you're right back in there, so it's as tough as it is right now. When you look at the end of it to go, hey, we can get there. You got like this team, and they're doing a good job of this, is you just got to look at what you have ahead of you today. And today was a win against a Nationals team that's not great, not terrible, not the worst team, but not great. And then now you got the Pirates coming to Wrigley, and you need to put it on them like you did in Pittsburgh. I mean, just absolutely club them, just like you clubbed the Nationals today. And if you're able to do that, you keep that momentum going, all of a sudden, you get to about 10 games over 500, you're in, because that's just where that's the mark right now.
Yeah.
So where are we at right now? 4, 5 over 5. So you get half of it, halfway there.
Mm-hmm.
Got to keep on trucking.
Exactly. And the Braves play tonight. Their Sunday night baseball against the Phillies. So if the Phillies are able to beat the Braves, the Cubs wake up tomorrow 3 games back of a playoff spot. 3 games is nothing. That could happen in a week. I'm not saying it will. The Braves are a good team, but 3 games is very doable as long as the Cubs keep winning like they did today. So guys, thank you so much for joining us here for the Cubs baseball channel. A really fun series against the Nationals, and even going back to the last series against the Pirates, a whole lot of runs are scored, and that's always a good thing. So hopefully the Cubs can keep it going. We're going to talk to you guys tomorrow to preview the Pirates series, but for now, keep liking and subscribing, getting in that comment section, and following us on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. We'll be talking to you guys tomorrow morning, hopefully 3 games out of a playoff spot. Go Cubbies.